Hey guys, welcome to my video where I'm going to be going over the mechanics that happen in the Fork Tower. This is unscripted, probably not going to edit it, but I just wanted to get something out there because I saw that some people were interested in the mechanics that happen in the Fork Tower. Pretty simple for the most part. There's a couple of mechanics at the end on the final boss that are kind of tricky, but yeah, I guess I'll just get started. So the first boss, he's pretty easy. Starts with a raid wide. The first thing that he does, he'll go up and then he'll have a cast bar. This word will either be near or afar. If it's near, that means you need to get away when the cast bar fills, because he'll just do like a half room cleave basically. So yeah, if it says near, you just go out a bit. If it says afar, you need to go close because you'll get knocked back. Hopefully it happens. I'm just looking at my player VOD. I don't think it is guaranteed to happen every pull, but surely it'll happen. So this is the near pattern, and you can see that's how far it goes. It's like about half the room. So yeah, that's an easy one. Oh, okay. He did the far right after. Okay, so this one is a knockback. So you just this word afar. Once it fills, get knocked back. Easy enough, right? Those are the two variations of his like attack that he spams. He does it a lot throughout the fight. So yeah, good to know those. Then it's just a tank buster. Nothing special about this tank buster. And then he does the near or afar, and he does it with these towers. These towers need at least 4 people. You can have more, so if you want more than 4, you can have more than 4. But yeah, technically you only need 4. So easy stuff. Now this is the mechanic that he starts to rotate. Basically what you do is you just read this word. If it says right, you go to the left. And if it says left, you go to the right. Very basic. It works no matter what side you're on because it's like flipped. You know, so if it says right, go left. If it says left, go right. Easy. For the next one, he does it twice, so he'll do it back to back. You want to make sure you're behind him, because the next time he turns, he's gonna blast the arena with a beam. And if you end up in front of him, you'll get blasted by a beam. So, since you're standing behind, he's rotating right, so that means we go left. So now we're behind him, and then he's gonna beam in front of him, and we're all safe. Alright. Okay, so next. He does probably the main mechanic in the fight, I would say. Basically, people get these meteor markers over their heads, and I wonder if I get... No, I don't get a good view of it, but there is a meteor marker on the other side of the arena. On the edge of the arena, like the people that had the overheads just now. Like these icons. So there's like one side of the arena is safe and one side isn't. So what you do is you send all of these people with these markers on their head to the side that has the marker on the arena. Unfortunately, I can't show it because I didn't get it, but yeah. They also have these stack markers that basically, like, if people stack on you, they get sent the direction that the stack marker is going. So basically, the idea of that is like, you want your stack marker to go over the boss, essentially. That's like the correct side. So 2 stack markers will be on each side. You can see these 2 are like the opposite of me with their little like blue line thing. So they're gonna go on the other side. And yeah, if you're on the non-meteor side, you just stack in the back. And then if you're in the meteor side, they stack like right next to the boss, and it basically sends them over the boss. So you can see all these these markers are from the players, and there's also this, like, I think this one is probably the static arena one. That's just always there. So, and they're all blowing up, but yeah, you just go over the boss, so you don't have to deal with any of that, and you run out, and then you're good. Oh, except that guy. Okay. So yeah, that's probably like the main mechanic of this fight. He does more rotates. So it says right, you go left. You go behind him, and then it says rotate left, you go right. He does the beam thing again. And then here's like an ads phase. And he always does like the getaway, the near cast with it or whatever. So yeah, you just assign your like groups to each ad and you kill the ads. I don't think there's anything special at the ads. I didn't tank it ever, but I don't think they do that much damage. Probably just mitigate because like it's free, but yeah. And then after ads, he auto attacks for like 30 seconds, and then he will do the gargoyle statue mechanic. Okay, so he summons these gargoyle statues, and basically there will be tower spawns. It's 4 people per tower, and there are 6 towers, but they're both on the same spot, and one set of 4 needs to be elevated, so you need to go up. And the way you go up is by running to this, either of the gargoyle statues. There's multiple. So you can see I'm here waiting to get raised, and then go to my tower. So yeah, still only need 4 per tower, but basically it's just 6 towers now on the same side with elevation. And then after you take these towers, those gargoyle statues that lifted people blow up, so you need to go away from them. So you can see, back up. Yeah, so you can see there's one over here, and then there's also the one that I use. So that basically means we're gonna go front right to dodge the big AoEs. Okay, so take the towers, then we go top right, and then you can see these AoEs are from the gargoyles, like, blowing up. Boss is pretty much dead at this point. He does 2 rotates. We kill him here, but I think he does another meteor thing. Everything after this is repeat mechanics, so like, I think he does a meteor after that. I'm not entirely sure on the timeline, but I mean, that is all the mechanics. Everything else is just repeats. So yeah. Let's see. Next, I guess I can talk a bit about the ads. This Manticore is one of the main like scary ads. He does like a left-right cleave, and if he's not slowed, if your time mage is not slowing this guy, it's really scary because it'll go really fast. Let's see, does he do it? Oh no, he got insta-killed. That's fine. I'm sure he'll do it next time we run into him. The scarab just does nothing, basically. Yeah. I don't know how much ads I want to cover, honestly. They kind of just, like, throw out stuff and you just dodge it, for the most part. I guess I will say that you want to... Your main, like, slow priorities as a time mage is the Moth. This Moth is really scary if it's not slowed, and the Manticore is also scary if it's not slowed, so... yeah, but obviously you should just slow everything. But yeah, this is just a big ad section after the first boss. I'm just gonna go to the second boss. is here. Okay. So this boss also pretty simple, honestly. They start just AoE them a bit, and then they go into their sections, split into 3 groups. This first like orange circle you just stand in, it just gives you like a debuff. Actually, I don't think it necessarily gives you the debuff of the color thing you're on, because I know there are people that have had the wrong debuff when they're here, but yeah, just check which like debuff you get, and then like yeah, you just attack the one that you're given the debuff of. It should be the one that's closest to you. First thing that happens, the tank buster, you gotta face it out. I'm pretty sure you're like supposed to kitchen sink it. I don't know. I think I kitchen sinked it every time I got it, but I didn't get it very much because I was just off tanking basically. And then the first mechanic comes out. This is like an individual mechanic, very much like something that you need to do yourself, and you can't really get very much callouts to help. There's like one callout that might help, which is like the last safe spot, but for the most part, it's pretty much all on you. So basically what you do is you look at your debuffs after the cast, and then you check if you have red or blue debuffs. In my case, I have 1 red. So basically what I have to do is equalize it to 0. So I have to get hit by 1 blue. So you'll see they'll start telegraphing their movements. So basically I have to go here. I usually, in the first one, I'll pre-position. So like I'm already in the blue before the cast even starts, and I don't have to think about it anymore. And then they do it 3 more times, and then I'll just remember the next 3, basically. So I need to not get hit at all after this one, so I'll go like B or something. I don't know what I actually went, but you know. I'll just say, like, as an example, like B2, and then like D or something. So the first one goes off, I'm equalized, I don't need to get hit by anything else. I go to B, and then I'm guessing I go to 2. And then going to D. So it's not that bad, but it did catch me a couple times in Prague. If you're not paying attention, you might get caught out. And like, if you mess up at the beginning, it's very hard to recover because you just don't know where to go. It does a raid wide after that. And then this happens a couple times throughout the fight. I guess 3 times. It's after every, like, I guess special, I would call it. I don't know. This is the green guy's, like, special attack. This, blob thing that I just did with the color debuff. But yeah, so basically these guys will jump somewhere randomly, and you need to go between them at the wall. So yeah, just run over there. You can see they're cast their cones, and we're safe, and then we go back. And then you get tethered back to your original colored guy. I would recommend, if you are not on the green boss, after this double cleave, you go back to the boss that is your correct color. For me, it is green, but like, if I was purple, I would just go to the purple boss at this point. Because you basically get your purple debuff here, or whatever. Yeah. After this, there is a Delta attack, which is a big damage raid wide. You just mitigate it. Pretty much it, yeah. And then he will do a party stack. Party stack on each party. Make sure you point it out, obviously. Don't snipe the other parties. That would not be nice. And then we go into the next, like, special attack. 3 body problem. So this is the purple guy's special attack. The other 2 turn into snowballs. These always are on these spots. It's always A and southwest, or I guess I should say north and southwest. And basically what happens is they will dash throughout the arena, and you have to have parties soak the dash. So my group was the Southwest Snowball first soak. So we always went into the first soak. I don't actually know like how many you need in each. I mean, if you have 6 groups, then obviously you just send one group into each, but you know, I don't know how this scales, honestly. It's also a wild charge, so you should be a tank if you're in the front, although it is physical damage, so technically, if you're like on Samurai Phantom Job, you can use your invuln thing on this, your invulnability, because it's physical damage. So, yeah. So, we just took the first one. I used Arm's Length because it doesn't knock you back, and it's annoying as a melee to get knocked back. And I guess, like, we also mark our snowball with this triangle so that we know which snowball we're going to soak afterwards, because we have to soak these after. They turn into stack debuffs, basically, or stacks. Yeah. So, get hit by the first one, and then stay out for the second and third, and then I look at where the snowball ended up, and I go opposite. So then you come to the middle, and you get knocked back to the edge of the arena. You stand on the edge of the arena. Make sure you're, like, very close to the edge of the arena, because the snapshot, the damage that you take is, like, very, it's kind of like when Titan uses, like, his abilities that are proximity, and they do a ton of damage if you're not, like, on the wall. I kind of tank privileged this, I think. I didn't take that much damage, but, yeah, just be very, very, cautious of, like, not being all the way on the wall. And then after the stack, you just kill the snowballs. They have an enraged, but, yeah, you just kill them. And then after that, it'll do this, thing where the other guys that were snowballs are no longer snowballs, and then they get up, and then they do that thing where they go do their cones on the side of the arena. So you go in between them again, and you'll see here that I targeted the green boss because that is my boss. I'm gonna get that debuff back from the beginning of the fight. So I got the green debuff, so I'm already attacking the green guy, so I just stay over here. And then they do Delta attack again. And then after Delta attack, it's a tank buster, cleave, and a party stack. So yeah, you just have your tank go to one side and the party to another. Easy enough. Just don't cleave in. And then we go into the last special attack, which is the red guy's special attack. So these two, the green and the purple guy, turn into fireballs, and they float away. And then you will see this arrow will appear on 2 spots in the arena opposite of each other. And it will do like a path, and then at the end of the path, a tower will spawn. I'll just play this out so you can see. This is probably going to end up like somewhere like southwest. Yeah, okay. So it ends up southwest. And basically how this tower works is it's 3 hits, and for each hit, you need a tank inside, and you need DPS and healers in separate stacks on the outside of the tower. So basically I go inside and I invuln. I guess as like a tank tip, you can use the enemy list to see when the first hit is going to go off. So you'll see you need to time this pretty well. It is probably safer to just mitigate the first hit, but I was just lazy and just timed it based on this timer to catch all of the 3 hits. But yeah, so as a tank, you can stand. I think well, okay, I don't know if you want to stand in front of the DPS or the healers. I never actually tried it, but yeah, I guess you probably want to stand like away from them. And then you have DPS point one of the cones out. There's 2 cones going out here. One is pointing at the DPS, one's pointing at the healers. So yeah, it's just 3 hits of that. Also, the tower becomes targetable after the first explosion, like right here. So like you need to target it, and basically you need to kill it, which you can do pretty fast if your group is prepared for it. So we got 3 hits there. After the 3 hits, you go stack on the DPS because it's about to do some baited AoEs under you, and then you just go clockwise in a circle. And yeah, there's a stack right there. Sorry. So there's a stack, and then we killed the tower. The tower died. I would recommend having at least 2 tanks ready to like take this, because we didn't start killing that tower that fast until like way late into Prague. So it's pretty likely that you'll have at least 2 like sets of towers. But yeah, so we killed both the towers. Now we're back on the boss, and then you'll see these guys that turn into fireballs will wake up, and then they'll do that thing where they jump to one side of the arena. Just kind of sitting here waiting because that other guy is just dead. So they get up, and then he goes over there. So targeted the green guy because that's my boss. Go out for the cleaves. Then go in, and yeah, it's pretty much the whole boss. There is a section here at the end that I think we actually end up skipping, which I probably should have thought about before I started this video, but basically they combine into this like thing, and then what you need to do is like there's some like cleaves on each of the like pizza slices, so you dodge the cleaves, and then after you dodge the cleaves you just spread out. The whole raid just spreads out, and then there's like little circle AoEs that like if you get hit by 2 you'll die. So like as long as you're properly spread out, you know, you won't die. I guess like I liked to use these like markers on the ground as like a signifier that I'm like far enough from the other person. And then you can do like a zigzag type of thing for melees, like one person standing here and then one like maybe out here in between, and then like yeah, you just like zigzag the melees. But yeah, that's the end of that boss. He enrages after that mechanic. And then we are on to the bridge, which is probably the scariest part of the raid, just because, like, there's a lot of things that need to happen correctly, and it's pretty fast. But it's not that bad, really. You just gotta stay focused a bit. Alright, so start out, you just kill these ads. These, like, lanes, basically you want your whole alliance to be in the same lane. What happens is the tank that is in front gets a wild charge, and they also get a 40-second piercing down debuff. So you need, like, rotating tanks to take the piercing vulnerability. But otherwise, you're basically just killing stuff. So we just killed the ads, we killed the wall, and then those ads don't really do anything, but the ones upcoming do. So this ad, it does a buff. You'll see the buff right here. You need to get your Oracle, I think it is, to cleanse it. I don't know, one of the jobs cleanses it, one of the phantom jobs. So yeah. Also, there are traps on this bridge. It is. I am like almost 100% certain that this is the first trap that can ever spawn on this bridge. It could spawn over here though. I don't think it ever spawned before this point. So, yeah. I mean, obviously play with caution, but yeah. So you can see here the spears came out again. You can see there's another tank that took the piercing of Ulm down. And then we just kill this wall. I guess also, like, they're doing the same thing on the other side. I guess I didn't say, but I guess it should be a little obvious. So, yeah. Next, we have our Perceptor, like, going up and checking for bombs or traps. It looks like the ranger killed them before we got there, but usually there's, like, 2 traps here. They can be like here. There's one always in the middle, and then there's one to the side. So they just got blown up before our Perceptor got up there. And then these ads do this ancient arrow cast whenever they get attacked. So basically, when this ancient arrow cast is going, you need to stun the ads. If that goes off, it's a raid wipe. If any of them go off. You can use like normal job stuns. I think there's also a Venom job stun. I'm not sure which Venom job it is, but yeah, just stun them after they start casting, basically. And then there's also this like thing that I don't have a really good angle on, but the right side bridge has this like switch over here to the right, and you need a Geomancer to levitate someone so that they can go press the switch. You can see it happening right here, so he's going over there to press the switch on the right side, and what that does is it raises it like it gives a bridge to the left side because the left side doesn't have a bridge. I guess it technically happens to both sides. It's just, it happens on the right side first, and then it happens to the left side up here. So you can see we don't have a bridge, so they need to go hit the switch on the other side. These ads, again, don't really do anything. I guess this ad does have an interrupt, but I never saw it go off in Prague, so I don't even know what it does. So, yeah. This is the same set of ads as the first set of ads in this section, in this bridge section. And then, I didn't really talk about traps, but this is an important point to talk about traps, I guess. These single ring traps can be procced with the ranger ability that procs the traps. These double ring traps you do not want to blow up because they have a massive radius. So basically, you can either leave this one, or you can blow it up, but you do not want to hit this double ring. So it looks like someone did clear that one, but it doesn't matter anyway, because you could just go on the other side. And now we're just waiting for the switch to get hit on the other side of the bridge while we kill these ads. At this point, if you're a tank and you're not a main tank, I would recommend turning your stance off. You can see I turned my stance off because the next part has a near-far mechanic on the ads, and it's very sketchy to have your stance on because you might pull aggro and then mess up the near-far mechanic, and then everything will blow up. I guess also I haven't really talked about it because it hasn't happened to us, and I don't think it will happen to us, but you can see back here there's like orange danger area on the floor. As you're going through this bridge area, if you're too slow, there will be this like fire AoE on the floor, and it gives like a fire dot. It doesn't actually do that much damage. Like when we were progging, we tanked it a lot of the time, and we would just sit in the lava because like really didn't do that much damage. So do not panic if you see this. You can just like stand in the lava for a while. It's not really a big deal. Okay. And then, so yeah, for this section, again, there's a 2-ring trap, and then there's a 1-ring one. You see this bird about to drop that trap. And then we start the last section of the bridge. So, yeah, these guys are the ones with the near far mechanic. Basically, the cast bar is close or far, and then you want to do the opposite. So this is close call to detonate. So we need to go far. We need the adds to go far on both sides of the bridge. You can see there's a tether attaching them. So you're gonna see our tank. We'll have one tank run like up and right, and then the other tank actually ends up going like down and left. At least that's what we did for most of Prague. I don't know if it changed like later when we got more comfortable, but I do think like the safest way to resolve this is having one tank go top right, the other bottom left. Because this blue tether is actually really hard to break if you're on the same like east-west line, I guess. So yeah, just something to be aware of as a tank. You can see there's another 2-ring trap in this room that was percepted, so you need to be really careful with your movement in this room. So you see the blue tether broke, so we're safe. You can also see on the boss's buff bar, you can see that it has like 5 seconds of tether left, so you cannot move them like either close or far from each other until this runs out. This spear mechanic happens again from the wall. This piercing wall mechanic, so you just have your tank stand in front. And then the adds will spawn more adds. If these adds get to this guy, it will just do a big AoE explosion. It is livable, but obviously not ideal. So yeah, you just kill these little bombs that spawn. And you can see there's no like tether buff on this mob, so like the tether doesn't matter anymore. Although he will do it again in a bit. The next thing that happens is the tank piercing thing. You'll see I go out here because of a tank, and I just get a piercing. Get a piercing vuln, like 40 seconds. Also, while this was happening, he's doing close call to detonate, which is another far. So the tank is going to pull him the far side, break the tether, and then he will do a stack. And this is basically all of the mechanics of this section. Yeah, he just repeats at this point. He does the adds again, it looks like. Honestly, like, you just kind of do them as they come. It's not very difficult to do this section at this point. It's just a rinse and repeat. And then the last thing is that you need to make sure both of the adds die at the same time. So you can see ours is at 1.6%. I focus targeted the other one. It's at 2.3%. So they're pretty much good. You just kill them. So yeah, just make sure they die both at the same time, because if they don't, they will enrage. I don't know what happens when they enrage, because we never had it happen in Prague, but I assume that they would just like wipe the party, wipe the raid. Alright. Like we took a bit of a break here, so I'll fast forward to the boss. Alright. This is the Marble Dragon. So basically this boss has like a lot of things where you need to pre-position before things happen. Because he has like a baited thing that goes on a random target. But I guess I'll talk about that when we get there. This is the first AoE. Normal AoE with a bleed. And then he will do the mechanic that I was just talking about. This mechanic will target one random player and it will face them. And then whoever it faces, it will cleave front and back. So generally speaking, we tend to bait on the south or north side. But obviously, depending on what strats end up being made in the future, you know, just bait wherever the strat says. So these baits always happen at the same time throughout the fight. So yeah, that was the first one. And then we get to this ice mechanic. I guess, what's the best way to do this? So you'll see these like water things on the outside, and you see these ice things. These water things create AoEs when they get frozen by this ice thing. So this ice thing will just freeze whatever it's touching. And most of these little blue like AoE things are just deformations, like big circles. But some of them are plus like AoEs. So like this one, you can see this like fin sticking out. That's a plus AoE. You can see the one over here is also a plus AoE. So in this first mechanic, I believe there's only 2 plus AoEs. There should be these 2. Well, it doesn't have to be these 2 exactly, but you know, there's only 2. But the rest of them are just big AoEs. At the beginning of the mechanic, we start south also to bait this this mechanic again from the beginning of the boss, and then we all go towards the icicle. This is an icicle, or well, that's what I call it, I guess. Whatever you want to call this little white circle. So we go towards the one that's closest to the wall, which is over here. After we bait, you'll see the bait right here, like he cleaved north-south, but we're safe because we're on the west side. And then you'll see this thing froze this pool of water. And then like a couple seconds after it gets frozen, it does this big AoE, so we're safe. And then this like spreads, the freeze spreads to the other side. I have a really bad camera angle for this, but yeah, you just basically just dodge into like the thing on your side. Like this mechanic will be solved every time if you do what I do, basically. You just have to make sure you don't go too far because there is this plus that I was talking about earlier that is going off. And also like this is from this like ice right here, so yeah. Pretty easy mechanic. Definitely like a mechanic that if you don't know what you're doing, you can just follow someone if they know what they're doing. This whole fight honestly is kind of like that, but yeah. Then there's a tank buster afterwards. This buster actually kind of hurts. I would recommend kitchen sinking it. But there's multiple in the fight, and if you are not playing Knight, you're just gonna have to ask your healers to heal you a lot, I guess, because it gives you a drop C debuff, and this drop C really hurts if you don't have mitigation up. Alright. So next mechanic, we are baiting south again. This mechanic has 2 variations. You'll see this twister outside. It can either rotate clockwise or counterclockwise. And basically it rotates into a plus or into a deformation. In this case, it's rotating towards the plus, which is the southeast side for us. And this is very like strategy based. Like this may change. This is just the way we did it, but like basically we would bait south and then we would go towards the plus. So you'll see this is not a plus over here, southwest, and southeast was a plus. So we bait, then we go east because it's near the plus. And then since the twister is rotating towards the plus, we can just be inside the plus right here. And then after that goes off, we can just go back and out. And then you'll see this twister continues and it goes along like freezing all of the other things, but we're already safe here. There is another pattern, which unfortunately I didn't prepare, but basically if you get the other pattern, which would be the twister rotating towards a deformation on your side, you would still do this, kinda. You basically, instead of waiting here for this plus to go off, you would go like all the way to the southeast wall, and then you would just wait for the middle plus to go off, and then once the middle plus goes off, you would like sit like over here. So you basically like start the mechanic where we are right now, and then once the middle plus goes off, you would go over here on the east wall out, and then just AFK. So like you basically do the same movement, but one is like slowed down by the plus essentially. But yeah. There's another tank buster after. See, I use my Phantom Guard on this, and I also pledge my Kotank. I don't know if the pledge... I don't know what the pledge does to the drop C, honestly. I'm not sure if you still need to mitigate, but I guess you can test that if you're willing. Alright, the next mechanic is ads. There are 6 ads. I was an off tank, so basically I didn't really tank an ad in this. What we had the groups do is they all piled onto one like golem, because killing these golems is really important, since if 2 golems are next to each other, they take like very highly reduced damage. So you want to be able to like, you want to kill them as fast as you can, because this mechanic kind of limits your space. So sometimes like the golems might be next to each other. And then there is, while you're killing these ads, there are towers. These will turn into towers when they get frozen. And you'll see there's a dragon right here that's about to dive down the middle. So basically what happens is we're killing the ad, or waiting for this dive bomb to go off. He freezes this tower, which turns it into a real tower. You need 4 people in here. And then at the same time, he froze the middle. So the safe spots from the middle plus will always be this tower that he freezes and 90 degrees from it. You'll see there's people over here. These people are always going to be safe. So like, and everyone on the tower is always safe from this like plus AoE in the middle. So yeah, and then this plus AoE freezes these towers. There's 4 more towers, and then you just split into more groups and just take the 4 stack towers. This happens twice, so you'll see he is dive bombing again. This time it's from southeast to northwest, and then you'll see me run over to get ready to take this tower. So he dives through the middle. Take the tower. The middle plus blows up again. This is safe. 90 degrees from this is safe. This turns into another tower. Go take it. And then that's pretty much ads phase. These golems, if you do not kill them before that last tower, they will cast this Frozen Heart cast. If this goes off and you're tanking, you need to invuln or pledge or Phantom Guard, because you will be taking a lot of damage. The auto attacks that they do after they cast this is like insane. So yeah, just be ready to invuln. It gets a damage up of only 1, but it like one-shots you basically. So you need to like massively mitigate or invuln. And then these sprites come out. If you're a time mage, you can slow them so that they're slower to go in. You can also stun them. Just prevent them from going into the boss while you kill them. Then, yeah, back on the boss. The boss is doing a massive raid wide. Just mitigate it. Forehead. And on to the next mechanic. Next mechanic, people get these markers over their heads. If you get a marker over your head, you need to do the mechanic differently, but it's not that different, so it's something that I can just point out, like, when it happens. But again, we are baiting south. Everyone is south. Even if you had a stacker marker over your head, everyone's south. Oh, also, I guess I didn't mention it, but these blue puddles aren't dangerous to stand in, like, until they get frozen. If you stand in these don't hurt you at all. Just, yeah, thought I'd throw that out there. So we're baiting south. This is very similar to first mechanic. It's pretty much the same, except for the people that had the marks over their heads. So you'll see we're south, we're baiting. We bait this pass. Then we go towards the ice that was further out. And then all of the people that had the markers on their heads have these bubbles, which basically gives them, like, freeze immunity. Well, not immunity, but you'll see all these bubble people, they just stay in this deformation to get hit by it, which freezes them into, like, ice cubes, and then you just break them out. In this case, I wasn't one of the bubbles, so I just dodged normally. So yeah, pretty simple. If you get an overhead, you just stay in the like AoE. Otherwise, you just go out like normal, just like the first mechanic. And then yeah, just have your whole party kill them. And then the final mechanic, I guess there's a raid wide first. Final mechanic. There's another bait that's going to happen, so we're all stacking south. There's 6 water spouts that will turn into towers, and then there's pluses, and there's deformations again. They're always opposite of each other, so these pluses are always opposite of each other. And then there will be a tornado spawn. So there's a tornado spawn northeast. So you'll see that we baited this by standing south. We go to the side. You can see this tornado is rotating towards the deformation. So east and west, I guess, like, D will be safe from these, like, big AoEs. So we wait for those to go off. When those go off, these towers turn into well, these water spouts turn into towers, and then you just have your assigned tower based on however you want to assign these. And then this twister on the outside keeps rotating, and it'll rotate into the pluses. So then you just need to be outside of the pluses. After this happens, you'll notice that the twisters did not go away. We are baiting again. But this time we bait north or south because a lot of people are north, and if you try and make everyone go to one side, it can be sketchy unless you were already all on the same side. You'll see he already locked in the cast. So we'll go to the side here, and you can see the twister on the outside is going over the pluses right now. And the plus is going to make all these towers active. So we stand out to the side. I'm bad, but I went in early, but all good. It's just one doom stack. Tank privilege. So yeah, basically you just want to dodge out, wait for the plus to go off, then go in, take your tower, and then after you take your tower, these twisters are still rotating on the outside, and they make these deformations go off, and then yeah, it's pretty much the boss. Don't remember actually what he does after this. I don't think. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's all the mechanic. Yeah, there's no way there's more mechanics, right? Surely. I don't think there's any more mechanics. I'm pretty sure if he does anything, it's probably a repeat. And then we get into the ads room. Okay, just kill these ads. This statue guy has some, like, AoE cleave auto attack. So if you're tanking this statue guy, do not stack, do not like cleave the whole alliance by standing like inside the alliance. I don't know when it happens, but it did happen to us once. So yeah, just be aware of this statue guy. Everything else is like kind of whatever. I didn't notice anything special. So we're clearing out traps here. And then we're going west. We started southwest. This guy just does like a big AoE that you need to get out of, essentially. Nothing crazy. Obviously you want to slow pretty much all the like ads in this area. Yeah, he does this big AoE. Then he'll do like a targeted AoE on someone. Then he's dead. The west room, which I won't be going into, has an invulnerable ad, which you need like 1 tank and 1 insta-kill phantom job, which could be an oracle or a samurai or a cannoneer. Basically, you will have them doom or use their insta-kill abilities on that guy because you can't deal damage to him because he's invulnerable. And then you have the tank just tank him because he does like these line cleaves. You just dodge back and forth with the like oracle dooming or whatever your insta-kill is. This is the northwest room that I'm in. It's just the golem that he applies this debuff to your party. When this debuff runs out, your whole party will get doom. That is cleansable by healers, but you could probably also cleanse it with other things. I think Oracle has a cleanse. But we just had our healers do it. And then he also has interrupt. Nothing crazy. Easy adds room here. Just dodge stuff. I honestly probably didn't go to the east side because a lot of time I just AFK'd. Oh, I guess I will say, make sure after you kill this guy, if you're killing the northwest room, that you wait until your poison debuff ends and you're cleansed from doom. Because if you run away from your party, you might not be able to cleanse this doom, and then you will just die. Okay, looks like I just AFK on this pad, but the east rooms, northeast is like a statue that does like an out and then an in. That's pretty much all he does. The east room is like bats, and these bats have like 1,000,000 evasion, and you just kill them. There's nothing special about the bats. And then the southeast room is a little, I don't know what it is, like a goblin or something. And he has like a scythe, and you need to have your thief like pilfer his weapon. Because if you don't pilfer his weapon, he'll just wipe the whole raid. So, yeah. Pretty easy, honestly, this whole, like, section. And then we get into... Once you've pressed all the buttons, all come to the middle. And you'll see that we're, like, kind of lined up here. What we did was, like, you need to have an interrupt order for this section. So we had all of our tanks and fizz range line up based on what interrupt they wanted. So you can see I was the 3rd interrupt on the on this side, on this like lineup, basically. So we have 3 lineups because there's going to be 3 ads spawning, and they all need to be interrupted in an order for the next section. So start now. You'll see beginning authentication process, and these goblins start spawning. They start casting this. This is what the interrupt order is for. That was number 1, so number 1, you interrupt 1. Number 2. And then there's mine. Yep. Okay. So, yeah. Basically, you need to keep interrupting these until wave 8. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on wave A, you'll see this guy. He's big. He is a master lockpick. Lock ward, whatever. Instead of just a little lock ward. And when he spawns, you do not want to interrupt his lockpick. You want him to successfully lockpick. And when that happens, you'll see that this terminal, it like turns blue. And that is a successful lockpick. Technically, I don't know if you need to do this to complete the raid. But I think it gives you 5 extra Sanguinite. And it also spawns a mob on the outside world, like the normal Occult Crescent, that people can just kill and get Sanguinite from. So, yeah. I would recommend doing it regardless. And then once you do that, you have to go push the buttons again. So I go push the button, and then we go back to the middle, and then we do it again, but this time, you'll see, I think it's around like wave 4 or so. Authentication complete. So basically, when this ends, the console that we started this whole thing with, like, becomes clickable again. So they just click on the console, and it ends this encounter. Eventually. I think it takes a while. Yeah, okay. So, let's see everything turn blue. Yay! It's on to the final boss. There's traps in this section. Oh god, okay. Let's see. So there's a lot of chests over here. I am not 100% confident, but I'm pretty confident that this is not here unless you do that lockpicking section. Because I didn't start getting this until after we started doing the lockpicking stuff. But I could have also just not noticed it, I guess, maybe. Because this room, before you do the lockpicking section, is just pitch black. But yeah, this chest gives 5 Sanguinite, so it's a very good chest to grab. This room is how you figure out where the mob is that the overworld can kill to get Sanguinite from. So if you go in there, it's a pretty cool room. Maybe I show it later. I don't think I do. But, yeah, it's a pretty cool room. It's just the map on the floor, the map of Occult Crescent on the floor, and then there's like a glowing thing to show like where the mob is, and then you can just like shout chat it. You'll see like this shout chat is saying like where that mob is, and people can go kill it and get Sanguinite basically without actually having to do the Fork Tower. It might also do other things because when it dies, it gives a pop-up message. But again, I don't really know. Cannot confirm at this point because we haven't tried doing this without actually like spawning that guy. I just get the message. Yeah, you'll. Oh no, that's not it. I don't know. There's a message that says like something about the evil has been. I don't know. When the guy on the overworld dies, you get a message basically. But yeah. Let's get to the last boss. So this is like probably like extreme level boss, whereas all the other ones I would say are like maybe not extreme, but yeah, they have a little bit, I guess. But yeah, this guy is definitely like a step up, I would say. Not like to an insane degree, but you know, there's a little bit more going on. Okay, so the first thing that happens is a raid wide. And then he will do unseal. Every time he does an unseal cast, one of his weapons, one of his hands weapons will glow. In this case, his right hand glows, which is a orange axe thing. Basically what that means is in each square 2 tanks that are closest will take auto attacks. Well, 2 people that are closest will take auto attacks. So you want your 2 tanks to take the auto attacks by standing close. The rest of the party can be on this line. There's also a chance that this hand will light up, and it will later on in the fight, but I just realized this is a failed attempt. I think I'm just going to skip to this successful attempt so that I can make sure that everything is, you know, explained without us failing. But, okay, so here's the unseal. He did yellow again. But yeah, again, it could be this one. If that's the case, then the tanks need to go far instead of close in each square. So he does 3 auto attacks. You do need to mitigate these. These hurt. Half mate should be enough. But yeah. Then this is the mechanic that took a while for us to like get good at, and really like this is like the main mechanic that people will struggle with, probably. He puts these daggers out, and they go out, and they go back in, and then they rotate. The way I do this personally is when they come back in, I will move into where they were, and then I'll wait until the next set comes out, and then I will go next to where it was, and then I'll dodge in again. And I'll just continually do that. After the... I think this is... What number set is this? I think this is the 3rd set. So that's 1, 2, and then 3. So yeah, after the 3rd set, he'll start casting this. This can be either an in, a dynamo, or a chariot, an in or out. In this case, lance, the keyword you're looking for is lance or axe. So lance is in, axe is out. And also, when it's lance, when it's in, I guess I should say, you will have to be outside of these squares because he will hit these squares on the arena. So you need to be in and in between the 2 squares. If it is axe, you need to be out and on the squares. So, yeah, and you need to do these while you're dodging these daggers because they continually happen throughout this mechanic. So, the easiest way for doing this, at least the way I did it, the dynamo, the in is like, basically, you can be like, I don't know, out to here maybe. You don't want to go too far in. Just stay like on his hitbox, generally speaking, I would say. And you'll see this. This is like when the cast bar is half, that is when I like look at these daggers to find out where I need to go, because this cast will go off as the next set of daggers is going off. So I know that if I stand next to where this dagger is, I will be safe. So I'm just going to stay here. And I'm in and I'm off of the squares. You'll see that the next set of daggers went off. And I'll just rotate back into those. And then, ooh, I made a mistake. Yep. Okay, well, I guess I could talk about this. So I think the correct way of doing this, he will always do the opposite of the first attack. You know how I talked about the lance and the axe? So since he did lance first, he'll do axe here. So we need to be out on a square. You should, instead of doing what I did, which is going like the other way, I should have just went over here towards this axe. But I decided to be dumb and just go this way, and then I got clipped by the dagger coming out, which is like an insane snapshot, but you know, it is Final Fantasy XIV, so I mean, I made a mistake. Honestly, I should have went the other way, but technically I'm safe. So you'll see the daggers. At this point, once the cast bar fills, there's no more daggers that'll be coming out. And you'll see there's a safe spot on the square, but out. Okay. And then next is Forked Fury, which is a tank buster on the close and far tank in each square. So it hits 6 targets. So after the Forked Fury, he does 2 auto attacks based on his weapon again. So he has the axe out. He's going to do 2 auto attacks on the close tanks on each square. And then he will start to Aura Burst. Basically, these canisters will appear on the outside. And there are yellow, blue, and purple canisters. You need to always kill the purple canister, but you need to kill it with a berserker. Basically, berserkers cannot be CC'd, and if you kill the purple canister, you can see it over here. Well, can't see it very well, but basically, you run up to the canister as a berserker and you berserk it, and when it dies, it shoots you with a beam that, if you're not in rage mode, it will I forget what the status effect is, but you can't take any actions for like a minute. So you need to have Berserker using Rage on the purple canisters. And then besides the purple canisters, you also need to kill the other canister based on the boss's weapon. So in this case, he has the yellow weapon. So we go out and we kill the yellow canister. When these canisters die, they will deal like 1,000,000+ damage to the 2 closest targets to it. You'll see me use Pledge here. And when it dies, I take 0 damage because Pledge negates all the damage. You can also use Phantom Guard if you want. But yeah, it's really nice to have Knights for this, because Pledge is really good here. You could also, if you were cheeky, use like a tank invuln, like Holmgang or Dark Knight's invuln, and just use Rage on this, and then your Deadly Blow will get like massive damage because of the level 3 Berserker trait, and then you can go Deadly below the boss. I assume that works. I have not tried it, but maybe, you know, something fun for the tanks out there to try. And then next is the staff mechanic. Right, so basically, I'll do this Lance Blow thing. He's gonna do Lance or Axe here, and he alternates again. So here he does Lance. This time there's no daggers going around, so it's pretty easy to just like be in and on the arena. Or off the squares, I guess I should say. And then there's 3 staffs on the arena. There will always be 2 on a square and 1 in between. I'm pretty sure that's... yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true. So basically, there's 1 staff here, there's 1 staff over here, and then there's 1 staff here. And they're basically just stacks. So you'll split into 3 groups. And you'll see this is 3 stacks going off. 1 from over here, 1 here, and then ours. I mean, the way we did it is we just had, if a staff appears in your square, you just take it. Otherwise, you go opposite. And then, yeah, so he does this twice. And it always will be opposite. So once you take the first staff, you can already go to the other side. And then it also alternates the axe blow or lance charge or whatever. So we have to go out on the square, and then we go in front of our staff stacks to stack the damage. And then he does a raid wide. That raid wide did catch us a couple times, so just be careful of that raid wide after the second staff ability. After this, he does an unseal. Does the axe again. So the tanks need to be close. 3 auto attacks. And then this is like the first real mechanic, I guess I would say. He'll cast this Rune Axe ability. You need to be in a square at the beginning of this cast. I think there's still like things that we don't entirely know about this mechanic. But there are ways to break it, which I guess I can explain as I'm explaining it. But yeah, basically be in a circle, or be in a square. If you're not in a square, you might mess the mechanic up. So this cast goes off. Unfortunately, no one in my party got a debuff, but he applies debuffs to people in each of the 3 squares. And when the debuff expires, these AoEs go off. You'll see this guy has a debuff and he's running out. When the debuff expires, anything that this AoE touches, that part of the arena will be given a doom stack and take damage. So basically the arena is split into the 3 squares and then the outside arena. So you'll see... interesting. I don't know. This looks wrong, honestly, but I think it's a visual bug. But this person should be on the wall so that it doesn't clip these, like, squares. I don't know. I don't know why it looked like it was clipping them, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because otherwise we would have all died. So you'll have that person go, like, way out so that they don't clip the squares. And then after their AoE goes off, their debuff, you have everyone dodge into this Lance Blow. It always is Lance Blow here. This is 100% Lance Blow. It never goes Axe. And then while this is happening, there's 3 small AoEs going off, and you have them take the squares. Earlier when I was talking about how you can break this mechanic, sometimes there's a 4th spread, and we think that it's either because people are not in a square at the beginning of the mechanic, or maybe it's from the lockpicking thing. We don't really know, but we did have some scenarios where we had 4 little spreads, which is obviously not solvable, so. But yeah. In this scenario, we only have 3, so we have 1 in each square, and then no one else is in those squares, and then they're just like, we're all just sitting waiting for this Lance Blow. After their debuffs go off, they come in to dodge the Lance Blow. See me almost make a mistake there, because I still need to dodge the Lance Blow. After that, there's another big AoE, and then 2 more small AoEs. So the party will stay in the square, and then the 2 small AoEs will go northeast, northwest, and then the big AoE goes to the wall. And mechanic is done. There's another Fort Fury, which is the close far tank buster. And then you get the canisters again. You need to look at his weapon again. It's yellow. We kill the yellow. So kill the purple with a rage on the berserker. Pledge the canister, hitting the 2 closest targets, and then it's a raid wide. After this, there's these daggers again. They're back. Just dodge them. It's pretty much the same mechanic as the first time. Let's see if I did this one right, actually. Oh, I learned from my mistakes. Nice. So, you'll see, it does a Lance Blow. I dodge into this. The first time I did this, I went, like, to the right after these went out. That was a mistake. In this scenario, I followed this dagger and I went out. Yeah. Like, I think this is correct to do. So I go out, dodge the daggers are gone because the second cast bar filled, and then we're back on the boss. He's unsealing another weapon. This should be the lance. I'm pretty sure he always alternates on this phase. No. So, This is the far bait for the tanks, so 2 tanks in each square, far bait. And then he'll do Holy Lance, which is his last like big mechanic. I guess this is another mechanic where you need everyone to be in the middle. Or sorry, in a square. You want everyone to be in a square so that it correctly assigns debuffs. And then after he casts it, he always does a lance blow, so you can go like out of the squares inside for the dynamo, and then you go back to your square, unless you are the northeast. I guess the northeast people also go back to their square, but I'll basically explain how this works. You'll see when he casts Holy Lance, there's these spears appearing. And they start north and they go clockwise. They will periodically like blow up, and whatever section of the arena they're on will blow up, and you will get a doom stack if you're on it, and take damage. So you do not want to be on that part of the arena when they blow up. And it always starts north and goes clockwise. So you'll see this is the first spear blowing up, this like arena, the outside arena blowing up. So at this point, the northeast square is in their square, but they need to dodge out of it because since these spears are going north clockwise, you'll see here, there is this square is blowing up now for the next 3 spears. So you'll see there's also these stacks happening at the same time, which are debuffs. Just make sure that your stacks do not clip the outside. Don't greed melee uptime, because if you clip the outside of the arena, you will kill your group, basically. I guess I have a better view here, so you can see. So now that the northeast spears are gone, it's going to start going southeast or south. So you'll see that was the middle south spear. And like, yeah, these people are dodging. They're outside of their square on their side. As these spears are going off in their square. And then after these spears go away, they'll dodge back in before this one goes off. Yeah. So you'll see we all back up because this spear is about to go off, which is right there. Once that spear goes off, we have to leave our square because these spears are gonna start blowing up. And we also have a stack. Our stack goes off. And then I actually go in early. Yeah, learn from my mistakes. Don't go in early here. This spear hasn't gone off yet, but I went in, so I get a doom stack. Okay, and then towards the end of the mechanic, which is right here, he'll start doing the axe blow, which is the opposite of the first one. This is always axe blow. So yeah, you just do the axe blow. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole fight. Does this Unsealed Aura AoE, he does a Forked Fury, does more tank autos, he does these canisters, which we range LB with the boss, and make sure you pledge. Then he'll do daggers again with the critical lance blow or the axe one. That's pretty much it. Yeah, just kill the boss, right? This is Enrage, Unsealed Aura. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. Could have been a little better, but hopefully this helps out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you want to ask any questions, you can ask in the comments or drop by my stream. I stream every day except for Sunday from 11 a.m. Central to 7 p.m. But yeah, have a nice day. Goodbye.